You can't control the weather. You can't control how many ligaments you're born with. You can't control when the next time we're going to get fucking bombed. You can't control the quality of anything. Like, you cannot control anything, but there's one thing that you can control. And this is also the one thing that every single person turns against them. And this is their mind. This is their own brain. You know that little voice inside of their head that 99% of people are just terrified of, but won't admit it. And by this, I mean, emotion happens, then there's a direct action that follows. And the action that follows the emotion that they feel or the thoughts that they have tends to be the one to avoid the way that they're feeling. For an example, when somebody gets sad or, let's say, depressed, the first thing they do is they open up TikTok or they open up Instagram. And the reason why is because they don't want to recognize the feeling that they're having, right? They're scared of that. Or they go and they do drugs, okay? And the reason they do drugs is to mask the feeling that their own person, their own brain is giving them. Okay? Or they go and they binge watch Netflix, or they eat junk food, or they do all of these things to just simply avoid a certain feeling. For example, I mean, women, they get out of a relationship and they feel heartbroken. So what do? They go and find another man. Same with guys. They get out of a relationship. The first thing they do is they go find another woman, because the idea of marinating inside of that emotion is terrifying to people. And that's a problem. Okay, that is a genuine problem, because if you want to be monumentally successful, whether that's financially or spiritually or physically, you need to learn to overcome those emotions and take back control over your mind, and understand that your mind is your friend, and your mind is the only thing that you have in this world that you can actually control. Now, you can't control the emotions that you have, but you can absolutely control how your brain recognizes these emotions and then the actions that come afterwards, okay? For an example, I mean, some people get horny, so the first thing they do is they go and, some people get hungry, so the first thing they do is go and eat. Some people get thirsty, and the first thing they do is go and drink. People get sad, so then they cry. And it's like these emotions and then this immediate action. Now, the problem isn't necessarily the action that follows, it's the unconscious decision to make a action based off the emotion that they have, and then typically avoiding that emotion as much as they possibly can, right? Because they don't want to feel it. And so if you want any level of monumental success, like I said, you need to learn to identify the emotion that you're having, and then you need to immediately follow it up with some kind of positive action or reinforcement on something that's not going to corrode your mind. I mean, over enough years of constantly thinking down on yourself or constantly avoiding emotions that you have, you got to understand that the emotions that you have are psychological triggers to something, okay? So like, let's say you feel anxious. There's a reason why you feel anxious, which means you have something to do that is going to heal this anxiousness. Your mind is your friend. Your mind is like, listen, you need to be anxious right now and you need to get this taken care of, okay? And if you don't get it taken care of, then guess what? You run away from this emotion, and then all this does is get worse, right? And I know this might sound fucking obvious, but the problem is nobody reacts positively. I have a friend that I just met up with actually not a friend, but I met up with this person a couple days ago. I was picking up a laptop, and as soon as she got in the car, she immediately just started crying about life, like talking about how bad life sucks and how bad this, and this. And I'm like, what are some things that you have done to actively, make things better for yourself? And I look in the back of her car, and she's got fucking Taco Bell, and she's got a diet or a fucking Coke sitting in the cup holder right in front of her. I'm like, okay, so you're not eating healthy, right? It's like, what are some other things that you've done? Well, nothing. I was like, what did you do all day? On my phone, watching Netflix, watching movies. It's like, okay, you feel sad and depressed, and you're reacting in accordance to avoiding those emotions. So it seems obvious, but from my viewership, most people don't react accordingly. So in this video, I'm going to tell you a couple things that you can do to completely take back control of your own mind. First and foremost, one of the most important things that you need to take from this video is the intentionality behind the decisions that you make based off of the emotions that you feel. Okay, so when you feel any emotion, any specific emotion, one thing I need you to do is I need you to ask yourself, why am I feeling this emotion? Okay, what is this stemming from? What am I wanting to do because of the emotion that I'm feeling? And then what am I actually going to do instead? So pretty much just asking yourself, why am I having this emotion? Is it because I didn't do something that I was supposed to do? Is it because I said something I wasn't supposed to say? Is it because I just don't feel good? Like, why am I feeling the emotion that I'm feeling, right? Whether sad, depressed, happy, doesn't matter. Just consciously asking yourself, why are you feeling the way that you're feeling throughout the day? Then understanding the exact thing that you want to do because of it. If you feel sad and you want to go and play on your phone because you want to avoid the sad feeling, instead ask yourself, what are some positive things that I could do instead? So for an example, if you're sad, is it smart to go and binge watch movies or eat snacks or eat junk food or play on your phone? And the funny thing about this is 99% of people know what the right decision is, right? It's not like crazy news that you need to eat healthy. It's not crazy news that you need to avoid social media as much as you can. It's not crazy news, right, that you need to do these certain healthy things, drink good water. It's that people don't make the conscious decision upon feeling these emotions to then take the right action or to take the right decision. So what I need you to do, I seriously need you to ask yourself, right when you're feeling some kind of emotion, why am I feeling this? And then what are some positive things that I can do to counteract the feeling that I'm having? If I'm sad, why am I sad? What are some things that I can do? Go to the gym, go for a run, go for a walk, drink some good water, do anything but play on social media, watch movies, etc. Now, the next thing I need you to do is I need you to absolutely start positively reinforcing all of your wins. So I'm not going to go into like too depth on this, but there is a massive study called the winner effect. And the winner effect is essentially accumulating tiny little wins that compound interest over time. So like anything you do that's considered a win, you actually give yourself that achievement. Like you thank yourself. You become proud of the small little things that you do. Like for an example, if you're working on a business project and there's like 15 steps in order for you to, hit that outcome. Instead of only being happy about the fact that you did the outcome, being happy and being grateful and rewarding yourself incrementally. I don't mean reward yourself by going and doing drugs and going and fucking partying and leaving. I mean just consciously like attributing that to you. Like let's say you're building out some kind of Notion, okay? And let's say you don't know how to use these call out blocks or something, and then you figure out how to do the call out blocks. You give yourself that achievement. You say, okay, good job, you figured that out. And you attribute a ton of little wins to yourself throughout the days. And what that does is it increases your testosterone if you're a man. But what it does is it rewires your brain into just becoming more confident, more self-aware of the decisions that you make throughout the day, and then constantly achieving or constantly inspired to achieve more. It's like, I know you probably heard, the first thing you do in the morning is you need to make your bed because it starts the day off with a win, right? And then accumulating these incremental wins, and then it reverse engineers or it rewires your entire brain into constantly looking for more wins without you needing to make that constant decision to go and find new things to win on, if that makes sense. You just progressively do it. Like me, for an example, I don't wake up and need to go and try and find things to do to try and make me feel like I'm a winner. Everything I do now, because the amount of years that have gone by, everything I do is like constantly just achieving incrementally throughout the day. I don't even need to attribute them to myself anymore because I'm past that stage, because my brain has fully rewired itself. And then the last thing I would do, seriously, I would absolutely control my environment. Being around sad and depressed and sticky people is one of the worst things that you could possibly put yourself through. I mean, we all know that you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time around. And with that, you understand that if you are hanging around potheads, you're going to become a pothead. If you're hanging around skateboarders, you're going to become a skateboarder. Not that there's anything wrong with these. I'm just saying that whoever you hang out with is who you're going to become. If all your friends are wildly sad and depressed, what do you think you're going to be? Okay, you're not like some outlier where everybody's just going to form into you. you got to understand, like, if you play video games, the people that you're going to attract are video game players. If you smoke weed, the people that you're going to attract are people that smoke weed. If you skateboard, the people that you attract are going to be skateboarders, right? It's manifestation. It's physical manifestation of you attracting not only who you are, but you also becoming the sum of the 5 people that you hang around the most. So it's like, question everybody that you're hanging out with. Is if I, like me personally, I don't allow anybody in my life to say anything negative. Like, nothing. Where I'm from and in my household, nobody's allowed to have a bad day, okay? Bad days do not exist because every day is a good day, all right? It doesn't matter if you're in traffic and the sun is super hot. You need to be grateful that you have a car and that you are in the hot sun. There are some people that are not, and I know this is super cliche to say, but it's that positive reinforcement coupled with the last 2 points that we had made that reforms, reshapes, and reconstructs your entire image, your entire being, your entire spirituality. It takes a lot of small, fine details, but you get to the point where a bad day doesn't exist. There's nothing that can happen to me that would give me a bad day. Nothing. Every single day is a good day, but it's because the people that I allow into my life are also held to this same standard, okay? Being more grateful for the things that, just being around people that are grateful and excited to be alive and excited to achieve and are constantly inspired and motivated. Those are the people that you want to be around. And if you're in a position where you can't find these people, the best thing that you can do is to kick the people out and then go lone wolf for a little bit, and then use social media as a tool to surround yourself with people that have that like mind. For an example, when I was out living by myself and I didn't have any friends or anybody to be around, I would use Twitter and I'd follow like 4 or 5 people that were within the niche of what I wanted to achieve, right? And at the time it was stock trading. And so the only people I would follow were stock traders. And so whenever I'd go on Twitter, at least I was having that positive reinforcement. There was no brain rot. I don't allow like the brain rot memes and shit. I don't care for memes or anything retarded. I very specifically, I use it as a tool and as a strategy to allow me to reinforce my mind, understand that the things that I'm trying to achieve are achievable because they've done it. And then, just incrementing the amount of time that I spend on it and whatnot. And honestly, I would extrapolate this point into the food that you eat, right? If you eat junk food, you're just going to be more tired and sluggish and whatnot. And I know from personal experience, when I eat junk food, me feeling more tired and sluggish doesn't give me the motivation to want to work. And so why would I eat that junk food, right? It's a conscious decision. It's like when I eat this food and I don't feel good, you don't really want to work. You don't really want to achieve because you don't really feel good. But when you eat healthy food and you feel good, you want to achieve. You want to take matters into your own hands. You want to, be successful in whatever department it is that is for you. But the point is, there are actual action items that you can do, that you can take, steps that you can actually inject into your life that will just serve as positive reinforcement and then rewire, reshape, and redesign your entire character. And there is this like duality where a lot of people live within their first design, right? And their first design is their environment, their friends, their teachers, the people that they're associated with, the food that they eat. And people say that you are a product of your environment, and I don't believe that to be true. I think that 99% of people are products of their environment, but I also think everybody has the choice and the decision to become the product of their own design. And in order to do this, you need to control all of the mechanisms that are used to persuade you and to poison you into becoming a certain person. Everybody says you are the product of your environment, which is true. But what if you control that environment and now you're the product of your own design? You designed this, you created this reality for yourself. And that is the way that you truly take control over your life, which by extension helps you take control over your brain. I just want you to kind of imagine a world where you're not fighting the battles alone. You're fighting them with you and your mind, right? And how unstoppable you would be, because a lot of people have made the one person themselves the person who's constantly telling them you need to feel this way because you have something to do in order to fix this. people have weaponized that and turned this person against themselves. And I seriously want you to understand that that is the only person in your entire life, or the thing that voice inside your head is the only thing that has your absolute utmost best interest, okay? And over time, you have learned to make enemies with it. But that doesn't mean that it's permanent damage. It means that you just have a few minor things that you need to tweak in your day-to-day life, and then you can reform and rebond that relationship that you have, and therefore it will absolutely allow you to achieve whatever department it is, but by a large magnitude, I can tell you that. Other than that, have a good one.